Grey classed as a cursed land. You'd have to be mad to settle here.
With all that doom posting from the last video and the last few months, I actually feel really, really bad because for the first time in a long it's good to be a Pee-wee player, okay? I'm really genuinely excited. So many new changes. Melee buff. A new league mechanic. Looks great for casuals and hardcore players. You can set up your map runners, ship runners, little dudes that'll do some work for you. Set them up before you go to work or go to school, and you come back, shipment of currencies, maybe some nice uniques, or maybe some boss fragments. You can have them run your Shaper Guardians, your Older Guardians. You can just throw them in there just to kill them because it's fucking hilarious. We have gold. Just wait before you get triggered. Okay, they added gold with an auction house and super cheap respecs. The gold is attack for your automatic currency trading, and it ain't just currency. It's scarabs, div cards, essences, just about every single item that is stackable and not dependent on item level is going on that auction house. And damn, ain't that alone, just that alone is already blowing my mind, bringing us into the 21st century with this ARPG. There's a gambler NPC that lets you pull that lever, but instead of the house winning, you get well-rolled rares. During the campaign or in your early map progression, you have 100 new enchants. Not all of them are crazy, but we do have some really insane stuff to put on our weapons now for some nutty endgame builds. We've got 100 reduced Vol skill soul game prevention. We can just play whatever the hell Vol skill we want now. You get to trigger fire spells on hit. I'm sure there's going to be some shenanigans there. Okay, projectiles return. Pretty sure that one's on bows. Life leech from hits is instant. This could be pretty swaggy if you don't want to take the new Vault Pact, which makes melee leech instant, but disables all other recovery. And you could get an additional curse on some other weapons. Plus, whoever knows what the hell else is out there for us to find out and abuse. We brought Recombinators back. As if we didn't have enough. They did Recombinators too. We can get crazy dense gear, maybe double fractures if they let us, double essence mods, low tier weightings, combine them together. Seems like the only changes to Recombinators. You don't get those random mods like plus charges on rings anymore. But if that's it, yeah. Gladiator and Raider changes. I called this. Okay, check the video. You saw it yesterday. Gladiator is a giga blocker now. It's got neat dual wield stuff. Lucky block is pretty crazy. If you could get 75. Got 94 attack and spell block. 94. Now, can you imagine playing with 94 spell block? There's some retaliation node on there, and when we get those skill gems and actually understand how they work and how much damage they do, that might actually be pretty insane. You get blocked, you get a big hit, and then you get to use an ability. It's got a cooldown, and you got to use it quick. But it seems like they pump, and that's pretty cool. Gladiator gets free aggravate, which makes enemies always act as moving for your bleed damage. You don't have to do stupid ensnaring arrow stuff anymore. Your bleed explode is twice as big. And you got some crazy other weapon stuff that you can meme around with on your dual wield or Verenostra build. Raider is now Warden. I didn't call that one, but I did call Raider buffs. She's bringing tinctures back in a little bit of a different state. It seems like kind of like a cool down little flask you get to do. They might be insane. We got to wait for them mods to come out. But her elemental stuff is crazy. Okay, she lets you apply 50 shocks that increase damage taken by 2% each. She's letting you get a 100% increased damage taken shock. She also, on top of that, gives a button that you press for 80% more elemental damage. So these are high hit, high frequency elemental builds, and you get that much damage. That's already crazy. She's got a new freeze ailment status called Warfrost, which stacks up to 200 increased freeze duration. Which is crazy because we don't really have too many sources of freeze duration. The biggest before was 60 you could anoint and then southbound for I believe 100. Now you get 200 on the ascendancy and it gives a minimum freeze of 2%. This combined with the new action speed reduction changes on bosses that let you reduce their speed down 50% instead of 30. 50% slower bosses. 30 was already sluggish. 50 is okay. If you're old, get that 50% chill on the bosses, okay? It's literally, can you imagine? You play Elden Ring, you chill Radon by 50%. Okay, right, it's free. Everything's free. She's got a node that double scorch. You just scorch twice, minus 60 res. And then the other tincture stuff alongside Bark Skin. She gets Bark Skin and some weird suppression thing that I'm sure somebody will use. Melee totems are gone. God bless, melee totems are gone. Most abilities got a huge damage boost, plus the changes to quality on weapons, making quality give more physical damage and more local defenses, means we get way more armor and way more fizz damage from our weapons. It's a melee league, brothers. Can I get a hell yeah for the melee league? Can I get a ooh yeah? They buffed bleed too, with that aggravating hits, making it so easy to get that moving bleed damage. Abilities like lightning strike, slams, bleed earthquake, bleed lacerate, many more melee abilities, I'm sure, as we actually have time to look over the patch notes. And POB just updated, so keep your keepers open. If you want a nice little breakdown of all the ability changes with and without the totems, check out the Google Sheet. It'll be linked down below. Shout out to that Redditor or whoever the hell made it. I don't know, but it'll be in the description. Okay, shout out to that. Rage lost attack speed and move speed, but every rage gives 1% more melee damage. I think that's totally fine. Berserk, the one thing I was disappointed with the nerf, it no longer makes you big. You stay your same little meek size. What the fuck, dude? What the hell's up with that, man? Let me get bigger. Blight Ravaged maps can give double anointed amulets. Ritual has more uniques and extra little goodies. Simulacrums have only 15 waves now, fast tracking you right to all the good loot, and they drop even more of their uniques, so stuff like voices won't be so damn expensive. And maybe that brings back Delirium Mirror farming. I hope and pray. I love that stuff. Getting a full Simulacrum every map, hell yeah. Ultimatum was buffed, it didn't even need it. But now the monsters drop their loot again. Wands, staves, daggers have more base crit, and wands also have extra base attack speed, alongside Kinetic Blast and Kinetic Bolt receiving 15% more attack speed. And increases and reductions in spell damage also apply to KB attack damage. It's just inherent. They put it on the gem. They just put it on the Perfect Agony. Has all your crit multi applied to dot multi. And after all that juicy, good eating, does anyone even really care that we lost Divine Blessing, Hatred's more cold damage, and Battle Mage? If you do, make sure you comment at least 15 schizoid paragraphs down below. Also, do them in my chat. Also, DM them to me on Twitter so I can block. I got some build ideas. I'm trying to cook some good shit up, okay? Because let's be real, a lot of the old builds, a lot of the old stuff's gone. And the best part of all, MF is dead. No more quant on uniques. Back to basics. More like back to the dump. More like back to ass. More QMF. Yeah, I'm sorry. You had to go. You had to go. You had a good run. What can we say? What can we say? Your shitty builds ruining our economy. What can I say? Okay, go farm some uniques. Thank you. And T17s, they got their damage halved and they deal 30 less damage. Alongside barrels not giving extra stuff, scarab drops lining up with however many maps you're dropping. Alongside the chisels, right? All mapping supplies drop according to however many maps you're dropping and however many maps drop off the mechanics. You have so many changes, so many buffs to melee, an archetype that's desperately needed it for so long, for years. With all that, what can I say other than log the f*** in, and I'll see y'all on League Start.